Hey, how's it going, everyone? Okay, right now, I wanted to take a break from all the hustle and bustle of gaming and talk a little bit more about this world that we all love, the Lord of the Rings. And now, today, it's not just going to be Lord of the Rings online content, but the books, movies, Lord of the Rings online, and everything all maxed together because I want to do something special. I want to plan a trip to New Zealand soon, very, very soon. Not like super, super soon, but very, very soon. And my inspiration from that was watching this video. This is Nerd of the Rings. He took a trip out to New Zealand and showed some of the iconic, and I mean iconic, film locations from the movies of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson adaptations. And we're going to journey with this guy, enjoy this video, and watch it together. I'm going to just give my thoughts and potentially plan some future events. Let's get into this video, right?
In New Zealand, the world of Middle-earth has come to life again and again. Filming sites for adaptations of Tolkien's world are spread all across the country. Now, these are places that I always dreamed of visiting, but I've always had a feeling that without some kind of guidance, planning my own trip would be a bit of a time-consuming quest in futility. And this is where the great folks at Red Carpet Tours came soaring to my aid like a heroic eagle. And over the course of 2 weeks, I took in the adventure of a lifetime, where our tour visited iconic locations from Middle-earth, and they arranged interactions with some of the incredibly talented professionals who brought the films to life. Thanks to them, today on Nerd of the Rings, we are visiting filming locations from Middle-earth.
Really good channel, actually. Everything lore, all the things related.
Our adventure began in the most appropriate of filming landmarks, Hobbiton.
Oh my
There
gosh.
could not have been a better way
so
to start
amazing.
the tour. From the moment you walk through the iconic hedges at the entryway to having
Let's back up. Come on. There's a little gardener guy up there. I mean, it makes sense. They got to water the place, keep it up to date. But he's not. He's just a modern gardener guy up there.
filming landmarks, Hobbiton.
I would
There
love
could
to
not
live in a
have been
hobbit
a
hole.
better way to start
There's
the
somebody
tour.
that lives
From the moment
nearby, like where I'm at right now. I live in Iowa, and there's somebody not too far from me in a city that has actually gone and dug out a hole and built a hole in the ground, hobbit hole. I am so jealous. I every time I drive past it, I'm like, oh my goodness, that person is so amazing. I need to become friends with that person immediately. That's gonna be my goal one day, and possibly I'll make a video on it. One day, I'm just gonna randomly walk up and knock on their door. Hopefully, there's some chill people and not somebody that's gonna be like, "Get off my land, dang it!" But hopefully, they're chill people and they'll just love the fact that I am admiring their craftsmanship because this is peak for me. This is where nature meets homes and does it right. I feel like this is how, and I'm not even a green thumber type of person, but hobbits and the ways they live, I can get behind that.
you walk through the iconic hedges at the entryway to having a pint at the Green Dragon, I truly felt like I had stepped into the world of Middle-earth.
I'm going on an adventure!
Quality that I got this shirts. All right. There we go.
Wow. We're in a hobbit hole right now.
They have the book and everything. That's awesome. Is he actually writing on something? Just casually writes on there, Matt was here. That's the guy's name. But they would be pissed probably if he actually wrote on the actual prop.
So it's super hot, and I have this wool cloak on, and I'm sitting.
Those chairs don't look very Middle Earthy. Like the one he's on, not the ones in the back, but the one he's on I don't know, something about it just looks too modern to me. The rest does all fit, but that chair in particular, those two chairs, excuse me, don't fit with the rest of the room.
In front of the fire, but I don't care. It's just too cozy. Even though I'm sweating, it's cozy. I got my cider. This is the hobbity life.
Now, I had the chance to explore Hobbiton for a day with one of their incredible guides, so check out that video for a full-on
Matt's
tour.
got this dad sports basketball Adam Sandler dress code going on there, and I'm digging it. The Adam Sandler dad dress code there. You know, the sneakers, long silky basketball shorts, and just a t-shirt. Hey, he's living his best life.
With me and Luke. I would have loved to stay in
My
Hobbiton
gosh!
even longer, soaking in
I would
every
love to
rich
be there.
detail, but the
I would
road
run
goes
around like
ever
a
on,
kid on
and
the
our
grass
journey
all
was
again.
just getting started.
Watch the movie on the bus.
From Hobbiton, our fellowship journeyed to the Trollshaws. Holy smokes. Oh my word. Now, if there's a word that I'm going to be using a lot in this video, it's stunning. Stepping off our bus, I was
This is gonna be a hot take, but the Trollshaws is the one area I feel like Lord of the Rings Online does better than the Peter Jackson films did. And the reason why is I feel like that autumn vibe color, that color of oranges and greens together makes the uniqueness of the area, makes it a little more unique, makes it a little more memorable in the brain. Because ever since I played Lord of the Rings Online, I don't think of the Trollshaws as the area that Aragorn and Frodo and all of them get chased from the ring wraiths and things like that. I think of Lord of the Rings Online hunting some badgers, killing some things, and going after that quest line where you do follow the riders, that epic storyline. But I just think of the vibrant autumn fall colors, and it's very cozy. And then that, you know, the elf music in the background. Lord of the Rings Online did it great. If you haven't played that game, check out their version of the Trollshaws. You will know exactly what I mean, and you'll be like, this fits. This is what I read when I read the Trollshaws in the books. And it will no longer be like in the Peter Jackson films. I feel like the only iconic spot is the trolls, you know, from Bilbo. But like anything besides that, you kind of just feels like another area, you know, another extension of the Bree forest area. In Lord of the Rings Online, you don't do that. So that's I better not ramble too much because it's only at 2 minutes and 53 seconds. This is a half an hour video. Maybe I'm gonna have to make this 2 parts.
in awe of the unmistakable, stunning natural landscape. The Trollshaws rest within a family-owned farm consisting of 600 acres and nearly 10,000 sheep. This location was used in about 22 minutes of The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, most notably in the scenes where Thorin's company encounter the trolls, the warg ambush in the woods, and Radagast recalling
same
Dol
area?
Guldur.
And that's the same area? I would not have guessed that.
This is such a cool tree right here. I really like this tree.
So their cave wasn't an actual cave, it's just a rock hanging up above. Cinematography, the way they trick our brains. What's that? What's wrong?
I've never been so excited to touch moss before. This is Middle-earth moss.
Now, this site was also used for scenes from the first season of The Rings of Power, such as when the Stranger, or Gandalf if you want to get all season 2 about this, looking at the constellations in the sky. And it's also where he walks into the forest in the final episode.
So they're
The
just
hosts
like,
here have clearly worked hard to
didn't
keep
even-
all these film locations preserved and well marked over
I
the
don't know
years.
what I'm trying to say.
As they guided us through each of the recognizable spots, They shared great behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew and what it was like to have their farm transformed into a movie set. The production team did such a great job creating new additions to the landscape that it's truly hard to tell the difference between a natural rock and a block of styrofoam in the film.
Do they just have
The iconic cliff wall is an
styrofoam
all-natural wonder,
added to
though.
it? What
It's
happens when it
wild to think that
rains?
this was just sitting in someone's backyard, waiting to be discovered. And beyond the movie locations themselves, I just can't help but fall in love with the lush forest and rolling hills surrounding the farm.
You
Just
know,
one
it
more
kind of
for
does
luck.
look like that in Iowa, to be honest, except for those hills, those rocks. There's a certain part of Iowa that you actually can get that. You know,
The next
We
day
don't
we
just
ventured
have
south,
corn,
passing more
guys.
stunning New Zealand scenery and climbing snowy mountains. We
don't
came
have
to a
those,
stop
though.
at the secret
Kinda
entrance
looks like
to
Colorado.
Erebor, located near the top of the Lonely Mountain.
New
All right,
Zealand
so
kind of gives me
we've
Colorado
been driving up
vibes.
this mountain, and it's
a
actually an
state I've
active
gone through
volcano,
lots of
which is
times.
wild. But that is the secret door of Erebor. So we're seeing a little set. We got the waterfall here from the Hobbit movie.
This setting was used in The Desolation of Smaug. And
Looks
while
totally
it was
different.
enhanced with some post-production magic, this is definitely recognizable as the spot where Thorin and his company
recognizable,
gain
but it
access
looks
to the halls of
pretty
the treasure
different.
within.
Okay, so if you look real closely, you can see an orc head on a spike right up there.
What?
I don't think that's actually what it is, but
Oh, you
that's what
son
we're
of a
going
gun.
with.
Not far away, we also explored a filming location from the Two Towers. Instantly recognizable as the spot where Gollum struggles to catch a fish
Jeez,
while
they
Frodo
use
and
this
Sam
area
watch.
a lot for the
It's
movies.
crazy to imagine a production
This is one
crew
person's
successfully
farm.
utilizing this terrain, as the gentle stream quickly gives way to a plunging waterfall over a steep cliff edge. Again, it's stunning. As we took in the sights, we were given plenty of time to
Did they use
recreate
that
the scene,
waterfall as
and,
for the
well,
Return of the
I did my
King
best to make
area?
Andy Serkis proud.
Oh, it's Return of the King in the... What the... Dude, Matt's getting down and dirty with that. He's not scared to scrape up his knees, bro.
That's dedication.
I just had to go for it, you know? Got a couple scrapes, but well worth it.
I respect that.
After a lunch stop that reminded
Oh
me of
my-
my farm boy roots,
I didn't know pigs actually look like that. Like, that looks like a warg, like an actual warg. Like, not, not warg, what am I saying? Boar. That looks like an actual boar. Like, I didn't know we still had boars like that. Yo, my US-ism is bad. Like, I think of pig, I always think of the naked pink thing. That thing's all furry. It's got the saber-tooth teeth. That's awesome.
we were off to spend 3 days in the capital city of New Zealand and home to the magicians of its film industry, Wellington. This was the central hub for producing the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies, as well as many other great films. Unsurprisingly, there are a few Lord of the Rings filming locations sprinkled around town. Most significantly, we visited some sites used in the Fellowship of the Ring, including the iconic spot where the hobbits get off the road. And while
Oh,
the
that
tree
was-
from the film isn't actually there, we were able to use our imagination a bit to recreate the scene.
Ah. That's nowhere close. Matt's just doing all types of weird stuff to these people.
Oh yeah, these are awesome. Look at this.
Nearby, we also explored the tree where Frodo and Sam first see the elves. And this is one that still looks exactly like it does in the film. It's wild that these filming locations are just casually tucked away in a public park, waiting to be discovered. But once you set foot in the peaceful greenery and get comfortable, it's
If I take one more step, I'll be the furthest away from home that I have ever been. And then every time he takes a step, he repeats that line. Y'all seen there's a cut of the Lord of the Rings that has that in the, it's like a 50-hour cut of it. I don't even know how they uploaded it. But goodness, who's watching that?
it's easy to see what appealed to the filmmakers about these spots.
Kind of like that way. like that. There you go.
After exploring the woods, we took a lunch break in town at the Roxy. While the theater obviously doesn't appear in the films, it has some great Middle-earth connections. The Roxy Cinema opened its
Zealand's
doors
just,
April
like,
1st,
still
2011
living in
to an opening party
2001
with the
to
cast
3
and
for
crew
the Lord
of the
Rings
Hobbit
movies,
trilogy.
Dude. They haven't let
Among
go
the co-owners
for
are
good
Weta
reasons.
Workshop co-founder
That country
Tanya
basically
Roger
became
and
that
Jamie
movie.
Selkirk, the editor of The Return of the King.
They
This
better do
gorgeous
new
Art
things
Deco
for
cinema
it.
theater is
Dude,
one
they-
of the city's leading attractions.
You know what I keep hating that I'm seeing a ton side tangent? I keep seeing this all over Facebook feeds, all over social medias, and it's misinformation. If it's true, please somebody show me the proof that it's real. That the Peter Jackson film production or whatever you call them, that they have gotten rights for the Silmarillion in the Second Age and are able to shoot Henry Cavill as Feanor. This is so fake, like so fake. To my understanding, it's fake, unless I'm like stupid or something. But it's so fake, and it's all over, and everybody in the comments are like, "I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it." It's like it's not real. This was an April Fool's joke. That's the first time I saw it. Was on April Fool's, and ever since then, it keeps getting reposted, and everybody's like it's like the amount of hopium and copium. Don't give it to me unless you're gonna actually make it, because that does seem like an awesome idea. But nobody, I don't think the Tolkien estate has released any rights to the Silmarillion to any film adaptations yet. I don't even think they have for like book spin-offs or anything. So
Beautifully designed throughout to capture that classic Hollywood feel. Among the many
Hobbits, if
great
they were
things to
drug
admire
lords,
is
that's what
Jamie's
that
Oscar he won
image
for The
was.
Return of the King in 2004. Wellington is also home to Weta Workshop,
I'll just put
the
that.
incredible production studio
Put those trolls right underneath, right by my bed back there. They're probably way bigger than this room even can hold. Have them just watch me the whole time.
responsible for the amazing props, prosthetics, and sets in the
Lurtz,
films.
dude.
Now, we weren't allowed to record much
looks-
of this part of the journey, but
look at
the
that.
sets in the films.
Lurtz looks way better
Now,
than
we
Azog.
weren't allowed to
Azog
record much
looks
of this part.
Pathetic compared to Lurtz. Like, pathetic. The Hobbit made too much CGI crap and didn't make the orcs and goblins do look very good. Like, there was a major break in art style with the orcs and goblins for the Hobbit films. I think a lot of people noticed that, and a lot of it was jarring to a lot of people. Too much CGI is a bad thing, and like that's what makes the Lord of the Rings one still look good, because a lot of it was like prosthetics.
Part of the journey, but what we saw was incredible stuff that left me with a deeper appreciation for the details and craftsmanship that Weta pours into each of their efforts. The day capped off with a visit to the Weta Cave, the very shop where you can physically purchase
Sorry, y'all, I
many
need
of the
some-
collectibles
My
that Weta
blue
has
light-
produced over the
anti-blue light
years.
glasses on. I get headaches
I'm
pretty
never
bad
gonna
if I
financially recover from this.
don't wear them when I'm this close
The
to
next
a
day,
monitor.
we were joined by a very special movie guest, Daniel Reeve, the calligrapher, artist, and mapmaker for both film trilogies, the Rings of Power series, and the new War of the Rohirrim. He gave us a presentation of his work, sharing
of
some
Power,
amazing
dude.
behind-the-scenes stories, and I actually had a chance to sit down with Daniel and talk to
Bad
him
taste in my
about his
mouth.
work and his experience, so be sure to check out that interview here on the channel. But for now, I'll just say the experience of sitting in the room with this man who has contributed so much to the visual look of Middle-earth on screen is one I won't forget. The next morning, we departed to catch an early ferry to the South Island. The 3.5-hour journey across the water was a great chance to watch a New Zealand sunrise and continue soaking in the stunning beauty of this country. It was well worth the early wake-up call.
Oh, I would love that.
Once we made it across the water, it wasn't surprising to discover the South
That's a
Island was
big
just
boat.
as stunning as the North Island, with plenty of adventure
Imagine
and discovery
living there
still
like
to
those
come.
people. I mean, look.
After a scenic drive
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say it looks like Iowa with the cornfields, but then they show this big mountainside, and no longer can I say that. Although there is parts of Iowa that are like that. Sorry, I'm repping out my state a little bit. Need to be proud of something, you know.
through the countryside, it was time to visit our next filming location. This spot was used to capture the memorable barrel riding sequence in The Desolation of Smaug. standing in for the forest river that flows from Mirkwood to the Long Lake.
Looks very
We had the
different in the
opportunity to
movie,
gear
though.
up, get in the water, and gain some hands-on experience on the river.
We are in kayaks. I asked for a barrel, but was told that I was dangerous and foolish and Matt, which is just my name, but it was more so the tone that they used. All right, so we just had a small pit stop here. This is where the dwarves come out of their barrels in The Hobbit: Desolation is Found. Okay, so this is the Pelora Bridge. During filming of The Hobbit, they famously had to leave the set because flash flooding was coming. And the water, we're told, is reached all the way up to the bridge, which is crazy.
The next morning in the town of Nelson, it was time to get airborne with
Oh
Helicopters
my gosh.
Nelson. This
I've
is
been-
the same crew that worked
I fly a ton, like a ton. I go to Mexico like once every 2 months for like 2 weeks. And so I've flown so many times over these past 5 years to the point that I'm sick of it. But I'm still scared of helicopters. I've flown so many times through an airplane, but a helicopter, something about it, it seems flimsy. It seems like I would blow away. Something I heard is the guy that plays Boromir was also very scared of helicopters, so much so that he walked all the way to the places, like up mountains and things. But that would be me. I would be so scared to death of going in a helicopter. But I'd face my fear to be able to see, just to be able to see these locations. So
with the Lord of the Rings production team, carrying cast and crew members up and down the surrounding mountains for filming. Our destination that morning was Mount Olympus, the site used for the area south of Rivendell in the Fellowship of the Ring when the Fellowship is resting.
We're about to hop in a helicopter. I've never been in a helicopter before, so yeah. Hopefully it's not too freaky. We'll find out.
I feel like a lot of people
During our
haven't
flight
been
through
in
the
a
mountains, the
helicopter.
pilots shared stories about
That's a
scouting
lie. I've been inside of one on a U.S. Navy base, but I haven't been inside one when it's in the air.
locations with the film crew and what it was like working with the actors each day.
The Tartica Township is down to our right, really close to the sea,
The sea, where's
and
the
it's where the
sea?
cast, the space, they
Not
would
seeing
drive
the sea
around
anywhere.
to a farm up the Aorere Valley, and right on there was the shortest flight. That made no sense, especially when the weather comes in, like
How
it
did he
changes
capture
like
his
10 minutes and then
audio?
the helis can't land. And so if they needed to get people off really fast, they needed the shortest distance possible to get them off. Who said, you know, they'd get up at 3 to start on the makeup and get ready for the day, and then be told that the weather's not suitable. It's really frustrating.
Jeez.
The mountain
what-
range itself
Just imagine that, the amount of work you're doing just to be able to like wake up, get all that makeup on, all those prosthetics on, and then it rains or something, and you're just like, oh, we gotta wait to do this all over again the next day.
is very impressive, but upon our approach to the shooting location, the landscape became instantly recognizable. How the production team zeroed in on this particular spot is kind of astounding, and to set foot on it was truly awesome.
They had to have had a local guide recommend the area, just something.
We were given plenty of time to
Dude, all
explore
those
the
rocks
rocks
are
and
real.
recreate
They
the
just
scenes
look-
that happened
They
here
look
without fear
fake,
of
but
Dunlin
they're
Krebs.
real. Like, it's weird. Like, just the way they're all there, it looks fake in my brain.
I am currently hiding
Like, that looks like a
near the
styrofoam
Grapevine from
block.
Dunland. This is the rock that Frodo and Aragorn hide under in Fellowship of the Ring.
That's amazing. Sorry. I don't mean the correct term. That's not offensive for those people. That was the stunt double, and you can kind of notice now. And now that I've watched, been pointed out to it, I can tell the difference to when it's the other actor than when it's Elijah Wood playing the Hobbit.
Up here, got Gandalf's spot.
I think he comes up and says, "The passage south is being watched. You must take the pass of Karathras."
He must have the whole entire
While
movie
we were on
lines
Mount Olympus,
memorized.
I also took the opportunity to unbox a Gwaihir statue I bought at the Weta Cave. It just felt like the right thing to do, and it remains my most memorable unboxing location.
I mean,
that is-
he supports his whole. Think of this. He supports his whole family, his wife, kids, and everything off of this YouTube channel where it's solely on Lord of the Rings content. That is how big, and he's not running out of ideas. That's the thing. He hasn't been running out of ideas or things to cover. He still has plenty of them. That's how big and how much lore there is to this world. And I hope we keep getting more. I know that's going to be hard to do because J.R.R. Tolkien, if you didn't know, has passed away. But hopefully somebody of his family members steps up the wheel. I don't want any sequel to the Lord of the Rings, but I would love some more second age and in between third age. I'd love some more like an official a story adaptation. Maybe Christopher Tolkien, if he's still alive, I don't know. Maybe he can go ahead and start. Is Christopher Tolkien named after C.S. Lewis? Is C.S. Lewis's name Christopher? If it is, I think it is because they were friends. I think. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic, but I would love an adaptation of the war going for Arnor with the Witch King, like where it's official storytelling with characters and everything like that, where dialogue, not just like the way it's written in the Silmarillion or the areas that it covers in the Histories of Middle Earth book. It's more just like it's written very much like a Bible, if you know what I mean. I love it more written kind of like the Lord of the Rings, simplified, more character driven type of stuff. I hope Christopher Tolkien steps up the wheel. I doubt he will. Maybe hit one of his kids or something. They're gonna have to be very, very good at reading and understanding their grandfather or dad or whoever does it in his mind and how he did it. So it would be a risk. So I see why they haven't yet. But still, we still haven't run out of stuff yet.
Until I get back to this wonderful country again someday. After journeying back down the mountain, it was time to go see a man about a ring. All right, guys, we are in Nelson, New Zealand today, and we are talking about rings, specifically the one ring to rule them all. I am at Jens Hansen, creators of the One Ring, as well as a couple other rings that you might remember from the books and films. Jens Hansen is still operating as a jeweler today.
All right, y'all. We're at about the halfway point of this video. I think I am going to make this a two-parter. Reasoning why is just the longer the video, usually the worse it does for the algorithm of YouTube, because you have to retain that audience retention rate even higher. And people have lives, I understand it. So we're going to make this a two-parter, but I will finish this up actually probably on a day I get back from work. Like off of work, I'm going to finish this up with all of you. But till then, I'm gonna play some Lord of the Rings Online right now. So we're gonna probably have some gameplay footage coming up soon, and I'll probably play a little bit of New World. So see ya later. Bye. Thanks for chilling out with me. Don't watch this without me. Like, don't go over to Nerd of the Rings. Well, actually, go subscribe to him, like this video, but don't finish watching it until I get there. We're going to watch it together, okay? All right. See ya. Bye.